Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So it's a frigid Monday morning, and it's the day after we just ran a half marathon.
Yeah, Watford half marathon.
Watford half marathon. And,
so a bit subdued.
Subdued, to say the least. Painting would probably be more appropriate. Just going to shift this around. Please bear with me a little bit. Okay. There we go. Somewhat a little bit better centered. So we're reading, and it's cold, so it's going to be a quick one. But we're out and about. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just thinking of sorry, I got distracted.
Yeah, it seems like. So we're going to read from the Srimad Bhagavatam now, and we're reading where from? Would you like to?
Canto 3, chapter 21, text 32, conversation between Manu and Kardama.
Manu and Kardama. Yeah. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
O great sage, I shall manifest my own plenary portion through your wife Devahuti, along with your 9 daughters, and I shall instruct her in the system of philosophy that deals with the ultimate principles or categories.
I forgot. Today is actually even more auspicious because today is the appearance day of Advaita Acharya. Haribol Advaita Acharya Ki Jai. So maybe if somehow Krishna may bring it up in the conversation. Let's see.
Purport. Herein the word Swamsa Kalaya indicates that the Lord would appear as the son of Devahuti and Kardama Muni as Kapiladev, the first propounder of the Sankhya philosophy, which is mentioned here as Tattva Samhita. The Lord foretold to Kardama Muni that he would appear in his incarnation Kapiladev and would propagate the philosophy of Sankhya. Sankhya philosophy is very well known in the world as propagated by another Kapila Dev, but that Sankhya philosophy is different from the Sankhya which was propounded by the Lord himself. There are 2 kinds of Sankhya philosophy. One is godless Sankhya philosophy and the other is godly Sankhya philosophy. The Sankhya propagated by Kapila Dev, son of Devahuti, is godly philosophy.
Any thoughts?
No.
Yeah, it makes it a little confusing and a little difficult, and of course, for probably most of us in the West, it's not that big of a deal because many people haven't even heard of Sankhya philosophy, which to speak of Kapila Dev. But amongst those circles where this Sankhya may be understood, what you may find is a bit of a, what is it called, like a dichotomy or a disagreement, where people say, no, Sankhya is like this, Kapila Dev, and you say, no, Kapila Dev, and it's like, which Kapila Dev? Oh, that Kapila Dev. Oh, I thought there was only one Kapila Dev, So it can be quite a confusing thing. But thanks to Srila Prabhupada, he makes things less confusing and makes things more clear. Helps us to understand the differences, but yeah. So therefore, we know, and there may come a time when we're actually in that sort of situation, where somebody else knows of something, and it's like no. So this will be covered in great depth towards the end of this canto, Sankhya philosophy, when Lord Kapila Dev is instructing Devahuti. So we'll get into that a lot more later. Next paragraph. There are different manifestations of the Lord. He is one, but he has become many. He divides himself into 2 different expansions, one called Kala and the other called Vibhinamsa. Ordinary living entities are called Vibhinamsa, expansions and unlimited expansions of Vishnu Tattva, such as Vaman, Govinda, Narayan, Pradyumna, Vasudeva, and Ananta, are called Swamsa Kala. Swamsa Kala. Swamsa refers to a direct expansion, and Kala denotes an expansion from the expansion of the original Lord. Okay, so here we've got two of several. I think there's somewhere around between 5 and 7 different types of incarnations that you can have. Excuse me. And this is discussing two. One is Vibhinamsha, which is an ordinary living entity expansion. It's still an expansion of the Lord, but he's more as like an ordinary living being. And then there are the Swamsa Kala expansions, which are like Vamana, Govinda, Narayan, Pradyumna. So they're kind of very, very special, and it refers to, Swamsa refers to a direct expansion, and Kala denotes an expansion from the expansion of the original Lord. Okay, so it's Swamsa coming from the Supreme Lord, but there's another division that's a Swamsa Kala, which means it's coming directly from the Lord, but through an expansion, and now that's going to be explained more. Am I boring everyone? Taking too much time? I hope not. Okay. Which is interesting because this is also what Advaita Acharya is, but we're going to come to that hopefully. Baladev is an expansion of Krishna. In fact, he's like first expansion of Krishna. And from Baladev, the next expansion is Sankarshan. Yes. Thus, Sankarshan is Kala, but Baladev is Swamsha. Everyone got that? So Lord Baladev is a Swamsha because he's directly expanded. But by the time you get to Sankarshan, he's an expansion of an expansion. So then he becomes Kala. There is no difference, however, among them. Okay, so now this is the Achintya Beta Abeta philosophy, simultaneously one and different. So they're one, but there is distinction because one's an expansion of an expansion and the other is just an expansion. Hopefully everyone's still with me. There is no difference among them. This is very nicely explained in the Brahma Samhita 546. Diparchir eva hidashantaram abhupetya. With one candle, one may light a second candle. With a second, a third, and then a fourth. And in this way, one can light up thousands of candles, and no candle is inferior to another in distributing light. Every candle has the full candle power, but there is still the distinction that one candle is the first, another the second, another the third, and another the fourth. So they're all the same in their potency, but there's a distinction in which came first. Does that make sense? Similarly, there is no difference between the immediate expansion of the Lord and his secondary expansion. The Lord's names are considered in exactly the same way. Since the Lord is absolute, his name, his form, his pastimes, his paraphernalia, and his qualities all have the same potency. In the absolute world, the name Krishna is the transcendental sound representation of the Lord. So in the spiritual world, the actual name is completely non-different from the Lord. So by chanting his name, every other aspect of him, his entourage, his pastimes, his personality is all, his form is all present. Since the Lord is absolute, his name, his form, his pastimes, his paraphernalia, and his qualities all have the same potency. In the absolute world, the name Krishna is a transcendental sound representation of the Lord. There is no difference in potency between his qualities, name, form, etc. If we chant the name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, everybody, Hare Krishna, okay? That has as much potency as the Lord himself. God, if we only could grasp that and get it when we chant. There is no difference in potency between the form of the Lord whom we worship and the form of the Lord in the temple. There you go. So the Lord, London Ishwara is non-different from the Lord, from the Lord. Of course, Prabhupada did say London Ishwara is special because he didn't say he was an expansion. He said he is Krishna in Vrindavan Krishna, pretending to be a deity. And that's different from being an expansion. or being non-different from. Anyway, I'll let you ponder that one on your own time. One should not think that one is worshipping a doll or a statue of the Lord, even if others consider it to be a statue, because there is no difference in potency. One gets the same result by worshipping the statue of the Lord or the Lord himself. Well, there you go. What a glorious statement for deity worship. This is the science of Krishna consciousness. Wow, powerful. Any thoughts?
Nice verse. Bit too technical in the beginning for me.
But hopefully explanation made some sense and helped to clarify, or not?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But it's nice because sometimes you can forget the deity form of the Lord and the importance and the potency. So it's nice to bring it back to that point that there was a reason why Prabhupada was taking so much pains to invite the Lord in this form, and where we can take such easy access of the Lord and take advantage, seeing him, chanting in front of him, praying, or just being present, just bringing some fruit and leaving it on the altar. All this is so simple. Yeah, I was thinking when I was cooking Raj Bhog on Friday, I got a lot of time to think on Friday because I cook a long time. And I was thinking, first, I was thinking how fortunate, first of all, because I'm cooking directly for Sri Sri Radha Landanishwara. But I was also trying to be grateful in the service. But I was also thinking, in the spiritual world, I won't get anywhere near this service. One assumes. I don't know who I am, but Mother Yashoda cooks, Srimati Radharani cooks. It's not any old, I'll go and cook an offering for Krishna. It's a very intimate service. It's a very, you may have an assistant that brings the veg, or someone cuts it or this, but to feed the Lord. And I thought, God, through Prabhupada's mercy, I'm doing a direct offering, going straight on the Lord's plate, on the altar, whether he ate it or not, I don't know, but it's on, Krishna's lunch, Krishna's breakfast. It's very, Prabhupada made that, it's so cheap. I don't mean in a bad way, but it's so cheap, so easy, accessible.
Yeah, cheap sounds cheap. He made it so accessible.
Okay.
That might be. Let's do some editing here.
Edit.
Yeah, but I get what you mean. Cheap means,
Right.
sometimes, people just come in within a few months, even a year. They're like in the pujari department handling Krishna's paraphernalia and
washing his plate.
Yeah, sometimes even before that they're helping with the cooking.
Yeah.
Not exactly cooking, but they're chopping the veg, or they're doing this or doing that.
Yeah, you can actually you can, if you're not initiated, you can still make the drinks, make the salad, make the fruit salad, or the fruit offering. That in itself can be done by non-initiates. The actual practice.
You have to be following. There's some standard.
Yes. But
we don't let homeless people come in and do it. Not that there's anything wrong with a homeless person, but
a homeless person
even
could
Boris
come
Johnson
in.
couldn't come in and do it.
But Boris Johnson or a homeless person.
Oh my God! I said the name.
One or the other, don't matter. Same thing. But they could come in and leave an apple on the altar, and that apple be picked up, and it would be chopped up, and offered to the Lord. How amazing is that?
Yeah. The benefit is unimaginable.
Yeah, so Boris, if you're listening, you can offer some Volga to the Lord. Might help you in your recent troubles. Let's not get political, it's not good.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Maybe we can get through another verse.
Let's see.
Yeah, we'll get through this one.
Text
As long as
33.
I don't talk right.
Maitreya went on, thus having spoken to Kadwa Muni, the Lord who reveals himself only when the senses are in Krishna consciousness, departed from that lake called Bindu Sarovar, which was encircled by the river Saraswati. Purport. One word in this verse is very significant. The Lord is stated here to be Pratyag Akshaja. He is imperceptible to material senses, but still he can be seen. This appears to be contradictory. We have material senses, but how can we see the Supreme Lord? He is called Adhokshaja, which means that he cannot be seen by the material senses. Aksaja means knowledge perceived by material senses. Because the Lord is not an object that can be understood by speculation with our material senses, he is also called Ajita. He will conquer, but no one can conquer him. What does it mean then, but that still he can be seen? It is explained that no one can hear the transcendental name of Krishna, no one can understand his transcendental form, and no one can assimilate his transcendental pastimes. It is not possible. Then how is it possible that he can be seen and understood? When one is trained in devotional service and renders service unto him, gradually one's senses are purified of material contamination. And when one's senses are thus purified, then one can see, one can understand, one can hear, and so on. The purification of the material senses and perception of the transcendental form, name and quality of Krishna are combined together in one word, pratyag aksaja, which is used here. So you can see the Lord even with your material senses. You have to be trained in devotional service. This is like anything in the material world. You might think, I can't do that. I can't run a half marathon. I can't fly a plane. I can't cook a cake. Anything can be done if you're trained, isn't it? Oh, well, you might need to do it, but whatever reason, you might have some limitation, but most things you can be trained in. The right way, then you can go, oh, okay, yeah, I understand, I can do it. Learning to drive. Any thoughts?
Yeah. I did have one. I was thinking of a verse, but I can't remember it, so I wanted to find it.
It's really cold here, by the way.
Yeah. Atashi Krishna Namadi Na Bhaved Grahayam Indriyai Sevonmukhehi Jivado Swayam Eva Sparatyada. No one can understand the transcendental nature of the name, form, quality, and pastimes of Sri Krishna through his materially contaminated senses. Only when one becomes spiritually saturated by transcendental service are the transcendental name, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord revealed to him. Now, is that the right verse or what? That's what I thought. So yeah, it's a very powerful statement. Sevam Mukhi Jivado. That's the famous line, because Prabhupada, he started the lecture at Conway Hall with that, and one of the lectures in Conway Hall. I think it's the one that's in the beginning of Sri Upanishad, isn't it? And he says, some of you will be surprised to know that spiritual life begins with the tongue. Sevam Mukhehi Jivado. So seva with the tongue, like that. So it starts with the tongue. So we have to control the tongue so that we eat only Krishna Prasad, and we have to control the tongue talking about Krishna.
Or just too much in general.
No, you can't talk too much about Krishna. And chanting Krishna's holy names. You can't chant his holy names too much either. But you can't talk too much about prajalpa, nonsense, like that. So you'll be surprised to know that spiritual life begins with it. But we didn't say anything about Vaitacharya. So anyway, quickly.
Oh my days.
Quickly. And then we're going to finish. So quickly. Today's the appearance day of Vaitacharya, and Vaitacharya is...
Oh my God.
What is your problem? So Vaitacharya is also, he is, he's not a Vibhinamsa, but he's more like a Swamsakala, I think, because he is an expansion of who? He's an expansion of Mahavishnu. He's also an expansion of Sadashiv. And he's also understood to be one of the 5 parts, being the part of the Panchatattva, and he's known as Bhakta Avatar because he's an avatar, whereas Bhakta Rupa and Bhakta Rupa is the form, and Bhakta, like that. So he's Bhakta Avatar, which means he's an expansion of the Lord who appears for the specific purpose of invoking and provoking the Lord to make his appearance as Lord Chaitanya. So actually, we owe a lot to Advaita Acharya because of his deep, profound prayers to the Lord in order to call forth the Lord to manifest as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So like that. But please take time to look into and read about Advaita Acharya. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you all very, very much.
And it's also a half-day fast, in case you already had your ready break.
Yeah, that's if you're listening to this today.
Yeah.
If you're listening to it another day,
don't worry.
Next Monday, 1 week from today, will be, look, there's a fox over there far out. Next week, on Monday, will be the appearance day of Lord Nityananda. And that's what I was trying to remember. He is Bhakta Avatar, Bhakta.
All right.
Anyway.
We'll think in our own time. Thank you very much,
Hare Krishna,
everybody.
everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Antakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.